Hey everybody, Fly Fisher here. Thanks for tuning in today. So what I thought I would do today is I wanted to talk about something as I was cleaning up my shop here a little bit. I've got two boys. They're a little older now, 11 and 15, but it made me think of something. When they were little, when they were 3 to 7 years old, I wanted to get them involved in the garage. I wanted to get them out of the house. I wanted to get them to come out and build things and learn how to use tools and take things apart and see how things work and all those fun kind of things, and just keep them out of the house as much as I could. So I decided to build a bench that would be more appropriate for their height. So if you look at what I have a kind of a typical workbench, I suppose, but it's up, up at my mid-section level. And that's just way too high for little kids to get at. So what I did instead was I built this this table here. But I didn't want this to always be sticking out into the garage. And actually, when I bought a boat, I chopped off, probably a couple of foot of it. So actually, as you see this, there's a nice red line in the middle. What that was is, like I said, the table was about 2 foot longer than it is now before I chopped it off, but that was the red line of one kid's over here, one kid's over here, and you can't put your stuff on each other's side because obviously brothers, they want to fight. But what I did was I got a couple of sawhorses from Home Depot. I got a bunch of scrap lumber and had an idea in my head and thought that this would be awesome. So what I did was I mounted a 2x6 to the wall back here. Let me see if you can see that a little bit easier. So right back here, there is a 2x6 that's screwed to the wall. I got a couple of hinges, and then I got lumber, right? So I'll walk you through the dimensions of it here in just a minute. But the piece that I love about this is when I'm ready to go in for the day, or if I've got a bigger project that I need to work on out here, I made this little bracket up top that allows me to flip the table up, get it out of the way, move the sawhorses into storage, which actually the storage that I have for those is built right into the 2x6. So it just hangs right there, which is really, really nice. Then when the boys come out and want to do some work out in the shop, I'm able to pull this down, put my piece back, set up the sawhorse, put my trash can bucket up there, and we're ready to go. They have something now that's down at their level. Well, again, as I mentioned, my boys are a little bit older now and don't necessarily need something so small, but it is really nice because even at like my 11-year-olds, he can work on things and look down on it. Now, the other thing that's nice for me is my shop chair. If I'm going to be here and do something that's kind of tedious, it's actually a really pretty good level for me to do work on as well. Right now, the top of this plywood is at 34 inches. And so the reason that all worked out that way is I bought the sawhorse first and figured out what elevation the sawhorse would be at, and then built my system around that. So if we take a little bit of look at how this is built, really, like I said, I went around to some of the houses that are being built here and got scrap wood. It amazes me how much lumber they throw away in those new build houses. So I got a couple of pieces of scrap plywood. This is just 1/2 inch thick. My table right now is 51 inches long by 16 inches wide, which is really a good, I like it. It's a really good width. It's not too big. It's not too small. I really like that 16-inch dimension. And then as I kind of put this up, what I did is I did go buy these 2x. I had them for a project that I was doing, but these are the 2x that are not a traditional. They're 2.5 inches wide instead of the normal 3.5 inch wide stud. I really like that. It's not so bulky, which was great. So I just created a box frame, put the plywood on it, and then as I mentioned before, I installed 2 hinges and mounted those right to my ledger board that I put on the wall. So let me show you what that looks like. So here's the ledger board I was talking about. Here's the hinges. They're nice beefy hinges. I got those at Ace, I think, for a couple bucks. I mean, it wasn't anything too major. Pretty nice. Okay, now let's talk about this little guy. So this is, I thought was pretty awesome. I had a piece of a cedar fence left over, just a Home Depot. I got one picket and cut this down for a couple of different things, but I had this left over, so I thought I'd use it. I screwed a 2x6 to the wall into the studs, so it's secure on there. Created and saw cut with the 1/2-inch plywood that I had left over. Created these notches in the plywood so that it would just fit the piece of fencing into that slot, which then holds that back up against the wall. So the dimensions on this guy, obviously it's just a hair more, it's 16.5 inches wide so that it'll receive that table when it comes up. As I said, that's a 2x6, so I made these pieces of plywood 2x6 as well. The notch itself ends up being 1 5/8 inches by 3.5 inches tall. So it is plenty deep to receive the piece of fencing, cedar fencing. So anyway, it was really kind of a slick system. The boys have had so much fun out here with this over the years. I mean, they literally have been out in the shop since they were born, and I'm not joking. I have a picture up on my wall up there that shows them. I made a little box for them to sit in when they literally were a year old, and had some little tools and things for them to have fun with out there. But anyway, I thought I would share this idea. It's done wonders for me over the years. Super cheap to make. And the thing I still love about it is that when you're done, you fold it up, put it out of the way, and you got more space in your shop. So anyway, let me know what you think. Appreciate you watching. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments. I'm happy to answer. See you later.